we are getting into our second book, The Richest Man in Babylon. Trust me, you're going to enjoy. This is going to be more of a storytelling than educative. Like, I'm going to be narrating to you because the book itself is written as a story. But before we get right into it, make sure that you've liked, that you've subscribed in case you are new, and don't forget to share. So this story begins with a background story, a little background story of Babylon, how it rose from nothing to being one of the greatest and wealthiest cities of the time. And again, how it fell back into chaos when there was a man, I forgot his name, who captured it, and then all the things that they had worked hard to build came to a fail. Actually, Babylon is the best example of any man who is so determined to achieve everything that he wants to achieve, that he just starts with what he has. Babylon didn't have a lot of minerals, it didn't have a lot of resources. They were only rich in fertile soils and water because it was located near the Euphrates River. But its citizens made sure that they built their city to something great. And this is what the story is all going to be about. It is based on the methods that they used back then, the principles that they were applying back then, and how we can also apply them today.
Yeah, actually, this is the same thing which happened with Dubai. We have seen it was a city like in the 60s, 1960s. It was having the same level of development as African countries, but nowadays we have seen that it is among the biggest towns and most visited town in the whole world. And I think this shows how much it's just a matter of determination and the will of doing things that can make also our different countries and different towns and cities to develop as those did.
Yeah. And so then the book starts with Benzene. We meet Benzene. He's outside his home. He's depressed. He's a poor man, actually a chariot builder. Sorry, he's feeling low. He's not in his usual mood because he doesn't know why he's not able to make it in life. He has been working hard. He has really succeeded in his chariot building career, but he's not becoming rich. And as such, the setting starts when he's outside his home with an unfinished chariot beside him, and his wife keeps coming to check on him to see if her husband has started working. But every time she comes, she still finds him in his distress. But then his friend passes by. He's called Kobe. He's a musician. So he comes and he asks Benzene for 2 shekels. That's equivalent to $0.6. And unfortunately, Benzene is like, I cannot afford to give you. Even if you had asked for one, still I wouldn't be able to give you. And Kobe he's surprised. He's like, how can you not have money and you're just seated there? You clearly have work to do, but you're not doing it. Then Benzene narrates to him the dream he had, how he dreamt he was wealthy. He was finally able to give his wife nice clothes, garments, put food on the table. But as soon as he woke up, he realized that that was just a dream and that he was still a poor man, and that puts him in distress.
So I think that's the same thing when you have talked about the dreams and everything.
Yeah,
that was the thing which woke up Benzene and made him to realize how much he was poor.
True.
And that's the same thing. As long as you have not yet got that thing which wakes you up,
awakening call.
Actually, you cannot see the situation in which you are. That's why I always advise people also, like, it's better to sometimes go in good places, because unless you have enjoyed the services they give in good places, in nice places, you can never dream of such. You get.
True.
That's why you see most
you can
people,
never get the feeling.
Actually, that feeling is feel like when, for example, you are going to a good restaurant and then they serve you nice food in a clean plate, everything. It makes you feel good and you want to experience it again more in the next.
You want to make it a lifestyle, actually. And then so after Benzene narrating to Kobe his dream, Kobe is now wondering, how come we have been working in our different careers for this long, but we haven't made a living out of it? Like, it's the money we get ends in the same time. Sorry, there's a car passing by. Ends at that same moment because we have a lot of responsibilities but barely no income. And then he actually remembers how he met one of their old friends. He's called Akkad, and Akkad has actually become the richest man in Babylon. Yet in the old days when they were still studying together, he was a servant's son, and they all wonder, like, how did this happen? And Benzene actually says something that I really, really like, because it's a fact of what most people do these days. He says that if only I was to meet Akkad in the darkness, I would steal his wallet, I would steal his purse and take his money. And Kobe is like, no, you don't do that. you cannot steal his money because it's just wealth. You will use it, you will buy nice things, and you wake up the next day and everything is gone. But you need to ask, how did he make it there? Because it's not like he had it's not like his father had money.
Yeah.
It's not like
one thing I can want to add on that is that actually wealth is not, it's not about money.
Sure.
It's a character.
Exactly.
And that's the difference. That's what many people do not understand.
Yeah.
And that's why we find ourselves also sometimes stuck, because we think wealth is just having money. People think that money makes money, but that is very wrong.
Character.
It is the character. People attract money. That's why you see, I don't know who said it, like if they distribute equally the all money which is in the whole world to people, still after a month it will go back again in the pocket of those very people, those very rich people who have been there. So it's just a matter of the way you conduct yourself that makes you rich. Actually, wealth, that's what about. That's what wealth is about.
Yeah. So actually they talk, and Benzene is like, actually you're right. If we could meet him and find out how he actually became the richest man in Babylon, it could help us. And then Kobe tells him that not only him, even his son traveled to Nineveh and is also now the richest man in that city. So, you know, they were all shocked, they were all amazed by how Agad had really changed his destiny. And so they agreed that they were going to go and meet him and talk to him, find out how he actually made it in life. And so they also contact some of the people they studied with, they were together in their childhood, and they all go to meet Akkad. And upon reaching, they start by complimenting him, congratulating him, and one of them asks, like, how? I think it was luck that brought you here. I think it's luck. It's just by luck that you're in this position, because we all studied under those same trees. It's not like you were any wiser than us. How? It surely must be luck. I don't know. He's like, no, luck. It's not luck. It's good. It can't be luck. What do you have to say about that? Because most people think that some people become wealthy because of luck. They just got lucky. So what can you say about that?
I think also that most of the time when you are trying to do something and you have failed to do it, and you see someone else who have done it, something you were thinking impossible, you tend to put it on luck just to justify the fact that you were incapable of doing it. Actually, it's not the problem. That's why I've said everything actually it lies on us. It is what is within us. To justify your incapability of doing something, you will try to look for excuses which you can put on the success of someone else.
Then after that, Akkad starts narrating to them how he was a scribe. He used to write on clay tablets, and then one day this man comes. He's called Agamish. He comes and he gives him laws, like a lot of laws to write for him in a period of 2 days. And he told him, if in 2 days you do not finish, I'm just going to give you 2 copper coins. And they agree, and then he goes, and after 2 days he comes back and his work is not completed yet. He's mad, he's very angry. He wants to get Akkad beaten, but he cannot do it because Akkad is not his own slave. Then Akkad actually makes a bargain with him. He's like, if I finish writing these scripts for you overnight, could you please tell me how you became rich? Because actually Agamish was a rich man. He was very, very rich. And that's the bargain Akkad brings on the table. And Agamish is like, he said you're a wise fellow, and I think that's a fair bargain. I think I'm going to accept. And effectively, the whole night Akkad did not sleep. He worked himself. He really, really worked until he managed to finish writing.
I think one thing Akkad had that most people don't have these days is the fact that he had at least that knowledge of valuing more the knowledge than money. Actually, when you know that knowledge is more powerful than money, you can at least you have made one step forward, and that's what he had. He valued first the knowledge because he wanted first to know. He didn't mind about the money. He wanted first to know how to become also rich. That is it.
Okay, so after the bargain, Akkad reminds him, okay, we agree that if I finish writing for you, you would tell me how can I also become like you, how can I become rich. And the man tells him the first thing you have to do is to know that a part of everything you earn is yours to keep. And Akkad is confused because he knows that everything he earns is basically his. So he didn't really understand what Agamish meant. Then Agamish goes ahead by explaining to him that everything you earn, you must be removing 1/10 of it and you put it apart, you save it, so that you can adjust your lifestyle to that remaining amount of money without the 10th part of it, so that the 10th part you keep on saving and saving and saving it. Akkad understands that part, but then he doesn't understand how saving money is going to make him rich. Then Agamish again, I think Agamish was very patient because he took his time to explain to Akkad step by step what he was supposed to do. Then he tells Akkad that money, you're not just going to make it sit somewhere, no, you're going to invest it in something so that that money brings more money, and the money that's the children of that money, as it said in the book, will bring more children and more children and more children, and that's how gold is going to start working for you and not vice versa.
I think there we have two rules of riches, how to become rich actually.
Become rich.
I think I've got them also from a certain YouTube channel I've been watching, a certain video where they say actually there we have saving,
yes,
and taking
investing.
risks. Yeah, and investing, of course, that's
Without
investing.
taking
Yeah.
risk, yeah.
You get, for example, like most people, they think that since I have little money, I cannot save, I cannot investigate. But that's not the point. Even if you have little, you can just find a way of saving even 10th or the 10% of what you have
sorry
got.
to cut you short, that's what he said in the book. Don't make sure that you don't make sure that it's only a 10th. Don't go below it. If you are able to go above it, it's fine. But make sure that it's 10th first. Manage that 10th for now until you are able to increase on the amount, but don't decrease on it. Yes.
And that's how you see that many people they think because they get little money, they will not be able to save.
Yes.
And yet they don't also mind the parts whereby even if they get more, they'll still have more needs again. You get the more you get, the more you get needs also. So you just have to learn how to save. It's a habit you're supposed to develop within yourself.
So after Agamish explaining to Akkad how his investments were going to just generate more money for him, he went and he told him, I'm going to come back exactly after 12 months to see how you've implemented the advice I've given you. And effectively 12 months after, Agamish comes back and he asks Akkad, how have you been doing? How did my advice work out for you? And Akkad tells him, I've paid myself, and I also gave the brickmaker to go. He was traveling overseas, so I gave the brickmaker money to go and buy jewels from the Phoenicians. And Agamish is like, you've lost your money. Like, he was so sincere with him and was like, your money is gone. And I think I've ever said it in one of the videos that you can never ask for a bricklayer advice on how to become a millionaire. It doesn't just make sense, and that's the first mistake Akkad made with his savings. He entrusted them to the wrong person. But anyway, Agamish told him the fool also often make bad decisions, they make mistakes, but what will make you different from others is learning from your mistake. So he actually told him, you cannot give, if you wanted advice about brickmaking, you should have gone to the brickmaker. But there's no way a brickmaker can buy for you nice jewels or be good at trading, because that's not their field. Yeah,
and that's the same thing which happens when as youth, we go to our parents. We want, for example, to do a business. Our parents have no experience in that business. For example, online businesses. But you go to your parents and ask them for advice about online businesses. Of course, most of the time they'll give you advices which they seemingly for them they'll be nice. They want your good,
they
the
look
best
possible,
for you. But it's not the right thing to do actually. So that's why it's always good for you to go and look for advice, seek guidance from those people who have been doing that thing, who are in that domain, have succeeded in that domain.
Who are in that field actually.
And if sometimes you can also ask advices from those people who have failed, because those ones will tell you how they have failed, what made them at least better than your parents who have not even known anything about that. That is it. And so Agamish goes back again, and he comes back 1 year later, and this time he finds Akkad he gave out himself, and his savings this time round he gave them to a shield maker who he invested actually in his shield making business. And after 4 months, he used to pay back Akad's money. And then Agamish was proud and was like, okay, what are you planning to do now with the money you're getting? And Akkad started saying, I want to buy a horse, I want to buy this, I want to buy that, I want to buy that. Then Agamish just asks him one simple question. So you're planning to eat the children of your investment?
And Agad is startled, like his puzzled. It's like that again clicked in his mind that what you're about to do is a huge mistake. And then Agamish tells him the best thing that would be for you to do is to reinvest the money that you got, the profit that you've made, into something else, so that money will keep just making itself without even you necessarily having to work for it. The gold now will start working for you. And then he tells him this time that I'm going to come back after 2 years. And so he goes, and the 2 years pass along, and Akkad has really worked hard. He has really become successful. And when Agamish comes back, he's now surprised. He's the one who is surprised with the progress that Agad has already made in his life. But unfortunately, by the time he comes back, Agamish is old. He's almost about to die. But he offers Agad a partnership together, so that they start working together, so that Akkad, since he was still young and full of energy, could now look over the properties and the wealth of Agamish. And so forth, so on. It went on, and finally Agamish had to pass on and he died. But still, he was faithful to his word, and Akkad indeed got his share of the money. Everything that he worked for, he really got his share, hence becoming now the richest man in Babylon.
Wow. This is a real story. I really remember. So when I was reading that book, that book is really interesting. And actually, I think the past where people will talk about chance luck, it's when he got the business with Agamish.
Yeah.
But yet that's not luck. It's something he provoked. That luck was provoked by him, or of course following up the different advices he has got from Agamish.
Yeah.
Most people actually would haven't even followed those advices. Actually,
they would have given up. I think by the time they made the first loss, like he did with the bricklayer, they would have been like, I'm done, and they would have stopped saving. But you see, Agad continued saving, and by that's one thing with saving. If you're used of saving, however little, trust me, any amount of money you will get, you will have that tendency. I cannot use the whole of it. I have to spare some.
Yeah, and for those who also talking about giving, you'll find some people saying that they are too poor to give, and that's the same thing. It's just about getting the habits. As you are not yet able, the Bible even says, if you are not faithful in the little things, you can also be faithful in the big things. Because if you're not able to give when you have little, you'll never be able to give even when you get much. Actually, it should just reveal even your selfish nature more and more. You'll become more selfish. You'll never give again to anyone, and that's the thing. You might even become impolite sometimes.
I know. So after him narrating the story to Banzir, Kobe, and their old friends that were there, some of them started saying, you are lying, it must just have been willpower. But he told them willpower does not happen just like that. You must be determined. From the moment I realized that I did not want to live a poor life, I set my mind to achieve something, and I did not stop until I actually achieved it. And actually, by the end of the story, we realized that there were people who actually did not understand anything from what Agad had said. Secondly, there were people who became sarcastic. They were like, you're already rich, why don't you just share your wealth among us your friends who are poor? And thirdly, there were people now who got inspired, who got their wake-up call to also start working, to also start saving and investing their little savings. And we still, up to today, we still have those three categories of people in this world. Some people just don't understand how money works. They don't. They really, I don't know if they have failed to understand.
I think all of us have been that. Okay, personally, I can give my experience. I've been such a person who couldn't also understand it, but at least with time, when you keep on learning and you want to know, you read books and see, and that's the advantage of reading books, because it's a knowledge, someone who has got a lot of experience and transmit it to you, and from there you can get knowledge and start applying it in your life. And slowly I think everyone can grow up to that level, but it is true that many people don't just want, they don't have that determination. They just don't want to decide themselves and say, maybe from today I want to start doing something and stop doing some other things. That is it.
And actually, I've remembered, as you were speaking, I remembered something that Agad told his friends when they were talking. He told them, even our teachers told us, that there are two types of knowledges, of wisdom that you acquire. One that we're taught at school, one that we basically know 1 + 1 is 2, and one that we actually learn outside school with life. And this is what he actually put that into practice. He did not limit himself to what he had specialized in, the way Bazir and Kobe did. knowing that I'm already a musician and that is enough for me. I'm going to specialize in this. No, he went ahead to learn new skills that were actually going to help him. And such, going back now to the 3 categories of people at the end of the story, even today, even among my viewers, I still have those 3 categories. The majority of you, around 50%, are people who just watch and be like, doesn't make sense. It used to be for those days, it cannot apply today. About 50% of people, including my viewers. Then secondly, there are people who will just take this for granted. They will just think, it's just a story. It's probably not true. There is no evidence about all this. That's about 49.
And even if they believe in it, they believe that it can be possible, they just don't want to.
They just neglect.
Okay.
Then the 1% are the people who are actually gaining some. They're actually picking the wisdom out of it and are willing to implement it. Me personally, I'm one of the 1%, proudly. I'm one of the 1%, and I'm ready, more than willing, to carry my fellow 1% people to the top until we make it, until we are actually able to have these basic things as part of our lives, to put it in our daily practices. It doesn't have to be a burden for you to save. And trust me, you can save and fail. The background voice you are hearing is a failed businessman, but right now he's succeeding. I think you should tell them something about that, your failed businesses. And how...
Actually, me, I have failed in many businesses. Actually,
Sorry for laughing.
True, it is just normal. I have failed a lot, and those are the things which have been helping me. Exactly. At least I've realized that the more I've been failing, the more I've been learning too. I've got a lot of experience in some different businesses, online businesses, physical businesses. A lot. I've been working as freelancer. I've a lot websites development, but of course I've been failing. But those are the things which makes me who I am. And I think slowly now, every time I'm trying to implement something these days, I use those past experiences to back me up and strategize. And I think things are going to be okay, because maybe things are not yet completely okay, because I have a big vision too.
But I know, and it's not easy, but I'm not saying it's
not
easy. It's not.
But at a certain time, I know things are going to be well. I believe in it, and maybe as you said, some of these viewers might not believe in it, but me, I believe in it. And also in 5 years, I hope they'll be coming to me as they came, asking for advices now, and that's the thing. But right now, the advice is here. We are here, we are talking, we are sharing, all of us, we are learning, and we have all that possibility of evolving. But it's now your decision to take now.
And so, I've already talked about the people and the reaction, but then after, the third group of people kept coming back to Agad for years actually, still seeking more wisdom as they were applying it in their own lives. And that's how we shall be ending for today. I hope that you've really, really enjoyed your story, and you need to categorify yourself. Are you among the first group, second group, or third group? I need to know in the comment section, and don't feel shy. It's okay. Like my co-speaker has been saying, he was once there, but through reading, feeding his mind, he has come out of that place, and it's possible for you too. You can make your dreams come true. You don't have to be like Benzene, whose beautiful dreams are tormenting his reality. No, you can come out of that place. And from today, actually, I would like to give you an exercise. Start saving. It's close to the end of the month. We are all going to gain something, however small it is. Please spare something aside.
What about students?
Even students are another case. I'm a student myself, and it's still the same advice. We don't have to be having a lot of pocket money to learn how to save. You can just start with the small. Let me give an example. I'm in Uganda, and let's say per month you get 100,000 as your pocket money, excluding food. Just 100,000 for you to keep, or maybe to buy a few stuff here and there. Removing 10,000 is nothing much.
And
I know I know, but 10,000 is much.
It will look like big, but you can as well survive with 90,000. If you can survive with 100,000,
you can as well survive with. You just now, like I said earlier, you just have now to learn how to adjust your lifestyle to that amount of money after you've removed your savings. And trust me, you don't have to start by 50,000. Most people think you need to save with a lot of money. No, a tenth of the money you're getting is enough for starters. Until it becomes a habit within you, then you can keep increasing the amounts. That now depends on you. But the exercise for me that I have for you today is to start with a tenth of the money you have on you. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and let me know what you think about this story in the comment section. And that's actually how we are going to be dealing with this book, because it's full of stories, full of knowledge. And I pray that you all may pay attention, may actually be willing to learn and gain the wisdom for this book that I'm also willing to share with you all. So thank you so much. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you next time, and stay tuned for more.